Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome back to my blind reaction. Welcome to my blind reaction to My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 14. Last time we left off, it seemed like Overhaul was defeated. Even the mask fell off and everything. We got to see his face underneath, which is just completely normal. I don't know why I would have expected anything less. I think it actually works better that it's just completely normal. I think it's just like you kind of expect it because he's wearing this big old plague doctor like beak mask, and it's like you expect, oh, what's underneath it? Is there something creepy? It's like no, it's just because he's a germaphobe. um, but yeah, so we saw him seemingly defeated, though they might pull a fast one on us and have him try to give one last stand. Um, we saw Izuku using Aries' quirk to kind of supplement his own, allowing himself to go 100%. But because of Aries' quirk, it kind of kept rewinding the state of his body so that he wouldn't really break his bones and fuck up his body anymore. Because, I mean, we already know that if he pushes his body too hard, he can fuck it up and do so permanently. And obviously, we don't want that. So it's good to have Aries' quirk as a supplement here, which Aries seems fine with. She seems all good to help at this point. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I was thinking last time that now we were going to kind of close this out, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there's a little more. It's hard to say with this series. My Hero Academia is one of those shows that can like really throw you for a loop, and when you think something's about done, it just completely like brings out a new level of it. You know what I mean? Um, I'm very excited though. Like, obviously, you guys know it's my second favorite anime of all time, and it was only beat out by Carol and Tuesday after I finished that. Because you guys, I'm sure a lot of you remember uh, when season 3 made My Hero my favorite anime of all time at that time. Um, because during the fight with All Might and All for One. Um, I mean, granted, it was a lot of other things besides just that, but still. So it's like, yeah, it's still, this series is still very dear to me. I love it greatly. So I'm very, very much excited to see where they take it next. But they do have to be finishing up this arc at some point soon. It's just like I don't see it going on too much longer if it does go on. Excuse me. But yeah, it's like at this point it's reaching its natural end point. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. There's a lot to still think about, and we'll see if it wraps it up, if it doesn't, if it gives us one last kind of one last stand for Overhaul, or if it's Overhaul's just done. It's hard to say with this series and with honestly with Overhaul's character. Um, yeah, we'll see. In the meantime, we're just going to get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I had said that with how big this arc was, with how big of a deal it was, and just the overall like impact of it, I had predicted that someone would die. I predicted it would be someone big, someone important, and it was. And I think that the choice to have it be a character that was brought in this arc was the smartest thing to do, because if they tried to like kill off a character who had been in this prior to this, like especially a big character like, I don't know, Aizawa or someone, that probably would not have gone over well with the fans, not as much. But at the same time, it also makes Sir Night Eye almost feel like he was only introduced in this series to die. Like his entire inclusion in this arc and the show was to be a sacrifice, a catalyst for the future, basically. However, when you look at it on a wider scope, you see that his impact in this series is going to lead a lot further. It affects All Might, it affects Deku, it affects Mirio, it affects so many characters from this arc, who a lot of which were introduced prior to now, but are getting a lot of focus and everything. And we're going to get to see where his legacy takes us. I mean, Mirio alone, even though his quirk is gone, it one has the possibility of being restored if Eri can ever get a handle on her quirk. And two, even without his quirk, I truly believe Mirio can be a phenomenal hero. It goes back to the beginning of the show. Not even the second episode, the very first episode, when Deku asked it, "Can I be a hero without a quirk?" And at first, All Might told him no, that it was too dangerous. But eventually, he changed his mind, and fair enough, admittedly, it was because he was going to give his quirk to Izuku. But unfortunately, that can't just happen with everyone. But at the same time, Mirio has shown that even without a quirk, he can fight and he can be a hero. It's going to be a lot harder for him, without question. But there's no doubt that he is going to continue on. And it's Night Eye saw it, and he doesn't want that future changed. Mirio is still going to become a great hero. And I truly believe that. And you bet your ass that Sir Night Eye is going to have that massive influence on him going forward to be able to do this. That prediction alone is going to drive Mirio into the future. And it's like, it was really this episode where it really came to light, where the realization really hit that, yeah, Night Eye and Mirio had the same kind of relationship as All Might and Deku. Maybe not to the exact level, but that was definitely there. Night Eye cared deeply for Mirio. As he said, Mirio is his pride. Very strong word to use there. He cared deeply for Mirio and wanted Mirio to be the best he could be. Even if at first he only brought him in to be a real worthy successor for All Might. He truly came to believe in him. And Mirio looked up to Night Eye to such a great degree. Night Eye was his hero. Just like All Might is Deku's. So yeah, there is definitely that comparison that can be drawn. And I definitely think that going forward, this will be a big turning point for for Mirio's character. And again, for the other characters who Night Eye has impacted so heavily. And I bet whoever takes over the agency, whether it be Bubble Girl or the Roach guy, whatever his name is, I can't remember. Um, Whoever takes over Night Eye's agency, you know that they're going to also carry on his legacy. They're going to hold the same standards he did, go by the same beliefs and ideals that he did, and fight for the same reasons. You know that's going to happen. So to say that Sir Night Eye was just brought into this series to die is false. Yes, he was brought in to die, and yes, he did die in the same arc that he was introduced in. But at the same time, his impact is going to be a mark left on this show that can't be denied. But anyway, moving on from that point, I've talked like 7 minutes just about that. Overhaul was defeated last episode. He tried to make a little bit of a comeback in this episode, but it didn't work like at all. And while he was being transported away, I kind of got my answer. I was questioning, like, okay, but how are they going to stop Overhaul, like, from just using his quirk again? Because all he has to do is touch something, and his quirk activates, and it's like he has like a super OP quirk. Like capturing him, like, how is that going to work? And I kind of mentioned, well, oh, they captured All for One, but I also kind of said, like, well, he might have been wanted to be caught. Let's be honest. So I was wondering how they're going to catch Overhaul and all. And then I like then we see the League of Villains show up, and Shigaraki solves the problem. Well, actually, not just Shigaraki. What's his face does as well. Compress. Mr. Compress starts by compressing Overhaul's left arm, just the arm, which effectively, like, just removes it. He just got his arm cut off basically with the compress, which is interesting. It's like that shows that Mr. Compress's quirk can, like, be super selective in what it's used on. It doesn't only have to be like he doesn't only have to capture like a whole person. He can capture a part of a person. That's also kind of terrifying and makes it more scary as a villain quirk, honestly, which I like. So he takes off Overhaul's left arm, and then Shigaraki decays and cuts off his right arm. And because he has no arms and effectively no hands anymore, Overhaul cannot use his quirk. He requires his hands to use his quirk. So he's done. It's over for him. I did not see that coming. Like I said in the reaction, I kind of thought that he might return at some point, but no. I mean, maybe he will, but not as a villain, and definitely not with his quirk. Let's be honest. Shigaraki made a statement here. Shigaraki started off in this series as very childish and immature, very prone to emotional outbursts. But with the guidance from All for One, And especially after All for One was defeated by All Might and captured and imprisoned in Tartarus, Shigaraki has grown massively as a character. He is legitimately terrifying now. Like prior to this, like Shigaraki was freaky, but you could also see like how his immaturity and everything could be his downfall, and how that would also allow just others to get past his terrifying quirk and work through that kind of idea, work through that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But now that he's grown more mature, and now that he's more like focused and everything, he actually comes across as legitimately scary, as legitimately terrifying. The League of Villains are priming up to be a phenomenal villain group, like more so than ever. They are priming up to be something truly special, I would say. And I just love that this series continues to impress me like that. So I can't wait to see where that goes. But yeah, Shigaraki is definitely growing into quite the impressive and terrifying villain. But yeah, so in the aftermath, everyone's just kind of moving on. All the injured heroes and stuff are they got treated. They're going to be fine. And it's just, this was the wrap up of the arc. So I fully believe that next episode we'll be going into our new arc, and very likely we'll be getting a new theme song, which, so happy for that. So overall, this arc, the Shihakai Sai arc, at least I'm calling it that, I don't know if that's its actual name, was phenomenal. One of the best of this series by far. I would put it right up there in the same ballpark as the Bakugo retrieval arc, as which is one of the top 3 for me for sure. So this would definitely be top 3 with the Bakugo retrieval arc, which, you know, where the battle with All for One happened. The third one I'd probably put in there. I'm not sure. Wouldn't be the Stain arc, although I did like that. I like pretty much all the arcs. Wouldn't even be the tournament arc. I don't know. Maybe the one in the forest, the training arc, the forest training arc. You know, when the when characters like Himiko and Dabi first came into light and everything, and Deku fought Muscular and all that. The Wild Wild Pussycats were there. That was a really good one. So probably that one for the other one for my top 3. But this is definitely one of them. Overhaul was a phenomenal villain. I just really loved his quirk, his character, his motivations, like just being so simple. I liked Eri and her inclusion in this. I liked Mirio, Night Eye, Big Titty Dragon Waifu. Ryukyu is amazing. Like, seriously, it's like, I think I talked about this last time, but there are certain characters that don't even need to have like a crazy amount of depth for you to love them. It's just like they're just basically your type of character. Ryukyu is that for me for sure. She's just my type of character, to the point where it's like, yeah, I just love her. She's awesome. She's definitely waifu material. But seriously, yeah, it's just, there's so many great characters, so many great plot points to this. The fights were excellent. Like, I've heard people say before that the fights in My Hero Academia aren't actually good, that the fights themselves are actually bad, and it's like what they stand for and what they mean that are good. And yes, what the fights stand for and what they mean, and the depth behind them, yes, are great, but the fights themselves are very well done. Fuck you. Seriously, these fights are amazingly done. I don't give a shit what anyone says. So, yeah. Um, the new voice actors that were brought in were great. I just overall, it was just a fantastic arc. But yeah, I have no idea where we're going to go next. Like, what the second half of this season's going to be. Like, it could be a lot of different things. I just don't know. I have no way of knowing. Where do you go after something like this? Like, what do you do next? I have no concept of what's going to happen. And I like that. I like that. Do not tell me in the comments because I don't want to know. But yeah, this was a very satisfactory ending, even if it was a very sad ending for one of the best arcs in the show for sure. And it even had quite a few really big surprises. Like I really did not expect Shigaraki to take Overhaul's arms like that. I mean, the one arm, it's like, okay, arm for an arm. Okay, but it's like both arms and basically invalidating his quirk and everything. And it's like, holy shit. Um, but yeah, tell me down in the comments below what you thought of this episode of My Hero Academia Season 4, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.